Our boy Daiki starts off by gazing at Shimizu-san, whose recently dyed black hair has caught everyone's attention. "It's time to go home, Shimizu-san," Daiki says politely, but Shimizu shows no reaction, leaving Daiki feeling slightly awkward and unsure how to proceed. Shunya pipes up with a snarky comment about Shimizu being a delinquent, and how everyone should follow Daiki's lead and dye their hair black. Meanwhile, Daiki notices that Shimizu is actually asleep, but he's not bothered by it. He sees this as proof that she's not as scary as everyone makes her out to be. Sido-san, a cool and collected classmate, enters the scene, discussing her lack of interest in love and ambitions. She's content with her ordinary life. Daiki muses on how Shunya takes things seriously, sometimes making him feel lonely. He wonders if there's anyone he's drawn to, but he's never really given it much thought. Daiki thinks about the kind of girl he might be interested in, someone elegant and unassuming. He's still pondering this as he hurries off to his club activities. Shimizu-san arrives late, and Daiki can't help but notice her unusual behavior. She's avoiding eye contact, which is odd. Daiki is convinced that Shimizu-san is upset with someone, likely because of some conflict that's just occurred. During art class, Shimizu-san seems tense and uncomfortable. Daiki senses that something's wrong and wonders if he messed up somehow. As the class starts, Daiki pairs up with Shimizu-san, who seems distant and unsure about the whole situation. The instructor asks if Shimizu-san is okay and if she's ready to pose. She's clearly uncomfortable but nods in agreement. Shimizu-san tries to relax in her pose, but Daiki can see her struggling. He tries to ease her discomfort by offering adjustments. Suddenly, Shimizu-san stops, causing Daiki to worry. He asks if everything is okay but receives no response. When told to stay in position for a facial drawing, Shimizu-san looks uncomfortable and asks if she can know beforehand. Daiki reassures her, but her tension is palpable. We see our protagonist, clearly exasperated, trying to calm down after a heated moment, muttering to themselves about getting back on track with the artwork. Meanwhile, the other character, seemingly flustered, is grilling our boy with questions about his intentions, clearly uncomfortable with the situation. Our boy looks awkward and sheepish, acknowledging his misstep and apologizing for lying about his intentions. Shimizu, with a raised eyebrow, playfully accuses our boy of having lewd thoughts, but is willing to forgive him if he admits to feeling nervous. Our protagonist assures Shimizu they won't move, emphasizing the need for a flawless drawing, despite the time crunch. Shimizu asks if they look nervous, and our boy nods, noting the stern expression on Shimizu's face before diving back into the work. Our boy draws something, but it's not quite right, leading to a brief moment of frustration. Shimizu compliments the black hair, but our boy's attempt at casual conversation falls flat, leading to a tense silence. Shimizu, clearly amused, asks about the choice of black hair, noting that our protagonist made an unexpected expression, causing a bit of confusion. Shimizu, for the first time, offers some encouragement, but quickly moves on, keeping the conversation light. With time running short, our boy urges everyone to wrap up, relieved to see Shimizu a bit more relaxed after posing. Our boy, with a critical eye, asks Shimizu about the thin lines on their face, seeking clarity and precision. Shimizu, now the artist, calmly asks about the pose they should take, while our boy nervously awaits feedback on their work. Our boy, looking serious, asks Shimizu to face a certain way, but then hesitates, unsure if it's the right approach. The final product looks great, with a sense of accomplishment as the awkwardness fades and a newfound understanding forms between them. It all starts with a simple yet shocking change. Shimizu-san dyes her hair black, shaking up everyone's daily routine. The delinquent Shimizu-san, now sporting black hair, sits next to our protagonist, Daiki, causing waves in their usually calm school life. Daiki, noticing Shimizu's drastic change, questions her about it. "What's up with you all of a sudden?" he asks, curious but wary. Shimizu responds casually, "If the food you like makes you happy, why shouldn't you take it?" Her words hint at deeper feelings and a change in demeanor. Daiki, intrigued and touched, starts daydreaming about cooking with Shimizu. He hopes it would be nice to bond over food together. Shimizu mentions she'll join cooking class today, which surprises everyone, especially Daiki. "Let's do our best," she says, determined. In cooking class, the group splits into roles, and Daiki finds himself paired with Shimizu. The others look on nervously. Daiki, trying to be helpful, offers to assist Shimizu with cutting vegetables. "I'll help you," he says, determined not to let her face the task alone. Shimizu, initially unsure, reluctantly accepts Daiki's offer. "I'll leave it to you," she says, her guard slowly lowering. As they get to work, Daiki and Shimizu start chopping vegetables together. "Let's do this," Daiki says, boosting Shimizu's confidence. Shimizu, now more comfortable, takes charge of the cabbage. "I've got this," she declares, showing a different side of herself. Daiki, watching Shimizu's new skills, suggests dividing the work. "How about we do this by shifts?" he proposes, aiming to make the task easier. Shimizu listens intently, her focus clear as she adjusts her grip on the knife, showing surprising dexterity. When Daiki attempts to show her a better way to hold the knife, Shimizu's initial resistance gives way to curiosity and acceptance. As they work side by side, Daiki can't help but marvel at how natural it feels. "Cooking in front of people can be tricky, but I feel free now," he muses, genuinely enjoying the moment. Our chef is getting ready to chop some veggies, explaining how it's not just any old sautéed vegetables but something more specific. He shows how to cut the cabbage in half for stability. The chef moves with purpose, cutting the veggies efficiently while instructing the trainee to follow his lead. As the chopping continues, Shimizu-san looks like she's about to lose it, and the chef decides to take over, showing off his skills with a cat's paw grip. Suddenly, Umbar steps in with a fierce declaration, thinking it's better to use both hands for safety. Another character warns about the dangers of reckless chopping, showing the correct technique with a cat's paw grip. The chef realizes the trainee needs more guidance and offers to demonstrate the proper positioning of fingers on the knife. The chef reaches out to help Shimizu-san, catching her off guard with his sudden touch. Shimizu-san apologizes for being uncomfortable, and Umbar steps in to show her the right way, offering a supportive hand. The chef reassures everyone, stepping in with a confident chop, declaring they can't turn back now. The chef is visibly frustrated, asking if anyone has lost anything, as the kitchen feels tense and off. Feeling like he's causing trouble, the chef apologizes, but assures everyone that perfection takes time and patience. The chef demonstrates the chopping technique again, watching as Shimizu-san nails it, overcoming her initial nerves. Shimizu-san manages to learn the cat's paw technique, her eyes wide with surprise and accomplishment. The chef is impressed, seeing Shimizu-san looking like a cute kitten, praising her for doing it perfectly. As the meal is finished, the chef is relieved it all went well, thanking everyone for a delicious meal, despite initial worries. "It turns out great, right? Well, so flavorful. What a relief," Hondu asks if he can ask a question. "Shimizu-san, how do you feel about cooking with me?" Hondu admits he was afraid at first that Shimizu might turn him down. However, he's now genuinely happy they got to cook together. Hondu expresses hope to cook with Shimizu again in the next class, noting Shimizu's effort made it fun. Shimizu, surprised, asks what's so funny. She thinks Hondu might have turned her down. Hondu surprises her again by saying they can do it again, counting on Shimizu for the next class. Shimizu awkwardly agrees, laughing it off as her delinquent reputation is shattered. The scene ends here. Shimizu, alone, reflects on her initial intention to prove herself to someone through cooking. She didn't expect his hands to be so strong. Was he just saying he enjoyed cooking with her? Shimizu thinks of handmade lunches as the best way to impress someone. She greets her sister. Shimizu jokes about her sister's arrival, but asks if she wants to talk about romance instead. Her sister gets it. Shimizu wants to impress someone who helped her. Cooking is the test. Shimizu messes up a bit but reassures herself it's just the first step. Her sister supports her. Shimizu decides to get to work the next day, focusing on the porridge. She's determined to do well today. Our boy is in a full-blown panic as he realizes he's messed up big time. He burned the pork and it's now a charred mess. Meanwhile, everyone else is just trying to figure out how to salvage the situation. The team decides to soldier on, despite the obvious mistakes. They chop the remnants and hope for the best, but it's clear this lunch isn't going to be a winner. Our protagonist is on the verge of breaking down. He's so worried about disappointing everyone, especially Shimizu-san, who's been super helpful. Shimizu-san munches on the questionable lunch with a satisfied expression. Our boy wants to thank him right away, but deep down, he's struggling to stomach the idea of eating it. Shimizu-san gives our boy a pep talk, pushing him to do his best and not let this moment define him. He's got some serious leadership skills, but it's not making things easier. Despite the effort, the lunch ends up looking more like a disaster. Our boy tries to salvage what he can, but there's no denying the burnt pieces. At least it's the right shape, right? Our boy feels terrible about wasting food, but even the kindest of souls can't handle this mess. He's on the verge of tears, but he knows he can't give up. Meanwhile, Shimizu-san seems unfazed by the burnt lunch, but our boy's spirits are at an all-time low. He's missing out on lunch and can barely muster a smile. Shimizu-san notices our boy's distress and tries to reassure him. Yet, there's a sense of unease, like something isn't quite right. Our boy offers his lunch to Shimizu-san, feeling guilty that he can't even eat it himself. Shimizu-san accepts it, but there's a lingering question in the air. Our boy explains that his parents made his lunch, but he can't eat it now. Shimizu-san agrees to take it, but there's a moment of awkwardness as they exchange meals. Our boy quickly switches the bentos, hoping nobody notices. But the tension is palpable, and it feels like everything is about to fall apart. Shimizu-san takes a bite of the burnt lunch and his face contorts. It's clear he doesn't like what he's eating, but he's trying to be supportive. Our boy watches in horror as Shimizu-san continues to eat, oblivious to the chaos he's causing. It's a surreal moment, filled with anxiety and desperation. Shimizu-san tries to act casual, but our boy can see right through it. He's desperate to know if Shimizu-san noticed the burnt food, but he's too polite to say anything. Our boy Shimizu-san is feeling a bit awkward as she wonders why she went out of her way to make lunch for someone, only to realize it was because she was asked if it was bad. Meanwhile, she's torn between telling him how she truly feels and keeping it to herself, feeling a mixture of embarrassment and happiness as he happily munches on her cooking. Looking closely, we see that Shimizu-san's friend notices how much effort she put into the lunch and wonders if it's related to her recent gloomy mood. This guy, who seemingly doesn't care much about the effort put into the lunch, dives into the food with enthusiasm, saying it tastes great, but he's also quick to remind her to eat it too. He thanks her for the meal, and Shimizu-san feels compelled to downplay her efforts, though it's clear she's trying to hide her embarrassment and appreciation. Our boy is genuinely grateful for the lunch, promising to make it up to her next time, but it's not lost on Shimizu-san that there's an unspoken connection here. As she tries to brush off his gratitude, she can't help but ask if he's okay, and he teases her about making another bento just for him. He looks satisfied, and Shimizu-san is secretly thrilled, thinking to herself that she'll make another one tonight. The delinquent Shimizu-san sits next to him, now with black hair, and we see she's already planning on making another bento to surprise him. The thought of him brings back memories of their first meeting, and Shimizu-san is excited to continue building on their connection. She tells him she's not completely satisfied with the result and vows to make it perfect next time, wanting both the appearance and taste to be flawless. She's happy she could finally thank him for his help in the cooking class and feels confident about expressing herself more openly in the future. A friend of Shimizu-san's hears about her thanking him and pushes her to spill the beans, but Shimizu-san remains tight-lipped about her growing feelings. The friend tries to give advice about relationships, but gets frustrated when Shimizu-san isn't interested in talking about it, reminding her that she's the only one having fun. Shimizu-san's sister brings up past experiences in the kitchen, but Shimizu-san deflects, not wanting to talk about her feelings for Kei, though her sister knows something's up. Our boy Deiji Hondu has a reputation for being incredibly pure and kind. He's not just kind, he's uniquely so, standing out among the rest as someone who genuinely cares. Meanwhile, Deiji is caught in a situation where he's cleaning up for Mel, who looks like she needs a break. The guy can't say no to anyone, which is both impressive and a little concerning. Looking closely, we see another character observing Deiji. He initially saw Deiji as weak, but now he's noticing something different, someone who helps others without expecting anything in return. As Deiji tries to handle a confession gone wrong, he's faced with another character who's clearly frustrated and confused. Deiji's response is gentle and understanding, but it's not going down well with everyone. A guy with a pretty face is trying to confess to someone, but he's got a problem. He doesn't know her name. Deiji can't help but feel like this isn't a good idea. Deiji suddenly steps in, introducing himself and asking about the relationship between the girl and the confessor. Is he really this clueless, or just trying to help? The girl who was being confessed to is visibly uncomfortable. Deiji steps in, telling the guy to back off, even though it means getting in the middle of something he shouldn't. Deiji sternly tells the guy, "You shouldn't put a hand on her. This will make you a bad person." It's a rare moment of firmness from our boy. Deiji is feeling guilty and apologetic. He admits he got carried away, spending time convincing the guy to back off. "Sorry, it was my fault. From now on, I'll watch my words more carefully." Mel, looking relieved, tells Deiji he should leave too. Deiji thinks it's a bit overthinking, but he wants to ask a question before leaving. Deiji, ever the curious one, asks the girl, "You didn't end up here by coincidence, did you? You wouldn't be here without a good reason." It's clear he's trying to understand the situation. The girl explains how she followed Deiji because she knew he had a short temper and was heading to the back of the school. Deiji nods, understanding her concern. Another character praises Deiji, saying, "You really are a good person. For someone who's neither a friend nor an acquaintance, not everyone would go to such lengths." But Deiji modestly brushes it off. Deiji explains his actions. "I'm doing this for my own sake. If I didn't do anything and you ended up in trouble, I wouldn't feel good about myself." It's a noble sentiment, but also a bit self-serving. Finally, Deiji reflects on the idea that people who don't want to see others suffer act this way to prevent distress. But he's conflicted. "I don't mind getting hurt, but I don't like the idea of others suffering." It's a complex mix of emotions. We see a character grappling with intense regret, their sorrowful expression tugging at our heartstrings. They assure someone not to worry about recent events, hinting at unforeseen consequences if they keep acting recklessly. This character vows to be more careful expressing gratitude. Yet, They suspect the other won't change, revealing a shift in how they view this unpredictable person. Another character notices someone hasn't thanked them for a past act. They suggest it might be awkward to do so now, but the other introduces themselves as if they've never met before, despite attending the same school. The character feels compelled to make amends, but worries the other might have already moved on, troubled by the unresolved situation. They argue, clarifying that they were praising the unpredictable boy's uniqueness. The conversation turns playful, with one dismissing the other's skepticism about liking the boy. A third character invites Daiki, a delinquent, to something. The delinquent, Shimizu, has dyed her hair black, shifting the narrative abruptly. A character approaches someone, declaring their love and asking to go out. They reveal their past popularity and transformation in high school. They explain how changing their appearance led to isolation, lamenting how drastically they've changed and expressing surprise at being recognized. They express concern about being alone and question if Shimizu is avoiding everyone because of her unconventional appearance and reputation. The character blushes when confronted about liking Daiki, their feelings becoming evident despite attempts to deny it. A friend teases them about wanting to look good for Daiki, acknowledging the effort to impress him. A younger sibling, Kino, asks the main character to go shopping for a mission. The main character reluctantly agrees to do the task, unable to say no to Kino. They complete the task without issues, even getting a reward for reserving a game, and head back home. We see Handu sitting across from Shimizu, who's questioning him about his presence. Shimizu seems to be teasing him, but Handu is oblivious to her intentions. Meanwhile, Shimizu reveals she knows Handu from school, even going as far as to mention she's the student council vice president. Handu is confused and a bit flustered, not recognizing her. Shimizu continues to introduce herself, mentioning she's Daiki's shopping companion. She's surprisingly animated about it, though Handu sees it as unnecessary. Shimizu asks if Handu has anything to do at home, and when he says no, she invites him to hang out with them. It's clear she's trying to make him comfortable. Handu, who was initially skeptical, starts to warm up to the idea. He mentions Shimizu's sister and how she asked him to come along, revealing she's cute and has a certain charm. Shimizu asks who's prettier between her and Kei, which catches Handu off guard. He hesitates and tries to say Shimizu is more beautiful, but it's clear he's uncomfortable with the question. Handu notices Shimizu getting agitated and starts worrying about her, thinking she can't stop thinking about something. He muses that she talks about him non-stop at home, wondering what she's up to. Shimizu suddenly leaves to get drinks, and Handu waits anxiously for her return. When she doesn't come back, he wonders if she heard their conversation, looking concerned. Handu starts to speculate about Shimizu's recent behavior and appearance, noting how she's become more stunning despite going through tough times. He genuinely cares about her well-being. He reflects on how Shimizu's actions have worried him, leading her to isolate herself from everyone. Yet, seeing her enjoy herself now fills him with happiness. Shimizu, still thinking about Daiki's question, asks Handu directly how he feels about Kei. Handu is caught off guard, unsure how to respond. Shimizu urges Handu to be honest, mentioning that they've been interacting more recently. She wants to know how he feels about her, but then realizes it's time to go. Shimizu describes how she and Handu have been in the same class since the beginning, often sitting together and having conversations. She seems to enjoy their interactions. Shimizu praises herself for being a good listener, never interrupting conversations and always responding thoughtfully. She believes this is why people see her as kind and trustworthy. Handu, trying to figure out Shimizu's mysterious behavior, suggests Daiki pay close attention to her. He's convinced there's a reason behind her actions and wants Daiki's help investigating. Ib seems lost in thought, mumbling about how he wishes he could be by her side, even if just because she asked. Kay's worried eyes burn with concern, but he believes it's okay for Ib. Daiki brushes off Kay's request, saying it wouldn't make him happy just because Kay asked. Instead, he's enjoying a conversation with Shimizu, which throws Kay off. Kay tries to cover his curiosity, insisting they were just talking about where to eat next. But Daiki's words about enjoying Shimizu's company cut through his defenses, leaving Kay feeling glad. Daiki's playful laughter echoes as he teases Kay for being so easy to read. The tension is palpable, but it's clear they understand each other too well. With lunch over, Daiki announces it's time for the real date to begin. Kay asks where they're going next, clearly intrigued by Daiki's plans. Daiki praises Shimizu's kindness, completely oblivious to the tension between Kay and himself. The scene ends with a cliffhanger, leaving us wondering what's next. Ib's frustration is palpable as he tries to catch Daiki's attention, but his words never seem to come out right. Kay feels stuck in an endless cycle of frustration, unable to take that one step forward to bridge the gap between them and Daiki. Daiki, clearly uncomfortable, tries to lighten the mood by discussing clothes. He apologizes for dragging Shimizu shopping, but Kay's sister insists they need his opinion. Kay avoids wearing skirts unless forced by the school uniform. Daiki points out that she's wearing pants again, leading to an awkward discussion about style and comfort. Kay suggests a skirt for herself, but Daiki insists she try something different. She reluctantly agrees, trying on a new outfit. Daiki feels the struggle of liking someone but not being able to take the next step. He asks Shimizu if she wants to pick out clothes too, but she's content with what she has. Kay thinks about changing her style for variety. She suggests trying something more casual, looking to Daiki for approval. Kay tries on a modest outfit and looks to Daiki for his opinion. The tension is thick as they both wait for a reaction. Daiki compliments Kay's new look, causing Shimizu to tease Kay about Daiki's calculated words. Kay's flustered reaction leaves us wondering about the true nature of their interactions. Our boy Kay is struggling with an outfit dilemma, but his friend Daiki is there to push him out of his comfort zone. Daiki suggests trying on girly styles that are still modest, and Kay reluctantly agrees. Shimizu-san joins in, encouraging Kay to try something different. She tells Kay that she thinks she looks good in anything and that Kay should have more confidence. 10 minutes later, Kay is still inside, hesitating. Daiki tries to figure out if Kay is feeling overwhelmed or insecure, but realizes it's just that Kay isn't used to revealing outfits. Daiki reassures Kay, telling her to wear whatever makes her feel comfortable and confident. Kay finally agrees to come out and show everyone. Kay steps out, and Hondo is there to give her an honest opinion. Kay nervously asks how she looks, and Hondo compliments her on how the dress accentuates her good qualities. Kay, unsure of herself, starts to think the dress might not suit her and tries to downplay the compliment, but Hondo insists it does. Kay blushes, acknowledging that the dress really does suit her and that she looks beautiful. She's still uncomfortable with the attention. Hondo continues to compliment Kay, saying she looks cute and lovely in the dress, but Kay is flustered and unsure how to respond. Shimizu-san quickly changes back into her regular clothes, noting that she won't wear the dress much, but acknowledges that Kay bought it for her. Kay realizes the dress suited her and admits it to Shimizu-san, who seems touched by Kay's thoughtfulness. Kay tries to play it off, insisting it wasn't because of Shimizu-san's compliment but more of a change of pace. Daiki notices Kay isn't being entirely honest with herself. Daiki gently calls Kay out, noting that it's good she's feeling better about the outfit now. Kei, flustered, tries to defend herself, saying she's just calming down. Shimizu-san seems to be lost in thought, likely reflecting on the day's events and the support from her friends. Hondo asks if something is wrong, and Kei tries to brush it off. But it's clear Shimizu-san in the dress was a memorable moment that touched her. The group finishes shopping and heads out. Kei suggests going somewhere fun, like an arcade, and is excited to spend time with Daiki and Hondo. Our boy Shimizu seems torn between heading home and staying a bit longer, wondering if something significant might happen if he sticks around a little more. Meanwhile, the scene cuts to a new chapter, where things are about to get a bit more intense. The classmate notices Shimizu's indecision and teases him about liking something that looks like a bear toy, but it's clear there's more to it. The teacher, Hondo, suddenly interrupts, inviting everyone to play games together, but it's obvious there's an ulterior motive behind his invitation. Shimizu hesitates but ultimately agrees to play, showing a bit of reluctance but also a hint of determination. As they start playing, the big sister figure challenges the others, declaring it's a 2-on-1 game. She's clearly trying to outshine everyone else. The big sister keeps eyeing the others, seemingly ready to pounce on any opportunity to assert her dominance. Shimizu tries to change the game to a fair 1-on-1 match, but the big sister isn't too keen on that idea. A crane game catches everyone's attention, and Shimizu sees it as an opportunity to prove herself. She's about to make her move. Everyone is shocked as the big sister's strategy pays off, hitting the target dead center. It's clear she's been practicing this all along. Shimizu seems disappointed but tries to hide it, making a joke about the winner getting to order the loser around. It's a classic underdog move. The big sister, Kei, seems conflicted, unsure if she wants to drag Hondo into this competition. She's worried about causing trouble. Shimizu, seeing the advantage, steps up to the challenge, ready to face the 2-on-1 game head-on. The big sister sets up the crane game, declaring whoever gets the prize first wins. The tension is palpable. As the big sister makes her move, everyone holds their breath. But then, unexpectedly, they lose. She seems a bit confused but confident in her next move. Our boy Shimizu is sweating bullets, panicking about following orders and keeping his promise, especially since his friend Daiki is there. Meanwhile, Rue 3, the cool and collected one, is all about taking photos for fun, suggesting they cosplay to make things interesting. Kei, ever the practical one, reluctantly agrees but insists on choosing his own outfit, clearly not thrilled about the idea. Shimizu is visibly distressed, worrying that if he looks bad, Daiki will be disgusted. His anxiety is palpable as he rushes to change. Shimizu puts on the costume, hoping Daiki won't be too cold. He's so worried he wishes Daiki would go to the bathroom to buy himself some time. When Shimizu emerges, Rue 3 is blown away, declaring him beautiful. Shimizu is relieved but still nervous about how Daiki will react. Daiki, seemingly indifferent, agrees to take photos with Rue 3 and Shimizu, while Shimizu feels a mix of relief and anxiety. Rue 3 decides to step out, leaving Shimizu and Daiki alone. Shimizu's heart is racing, unsure of what's to come. With Daiki's encouragement, Shimizu starts to feel a bit bolder, moving closer and asking if it's okay, tentatively stepping into the moment. Shimizu nervously backs up, unsure if he's too close, only to be told it's perfect right before the photo is taken. Shimizu is flustered as Daiki starts decorating the photos, offering to take care of everything. Shimizu, overwhelmed, asks Daiki to give something to Shimizu-san. Shimizu hands over a small gift to Daiki, visibly flustered and unsure how to react. Daiki is surprised but touched by the gesture. He confesses to getting the gift while Shimizu and AI-san were changing, impressed by Shimizu's effort. Ru-3, witnessing the exchange, decides to keep the gift, happy that Daiki accepted it. Daiki's expression softens as he holds the teddy bear, clearly moved, but Shimizu misinterprets the look, wondering if he's done something wrong. Our boy suddenly blurts out in shock, "W what? Don't call it cute all of a sudden." Meanwhile, he's scrambling to figure out how to proceed. He's holding a stuffed animal and says, "I got it as a gift, so I'll take good care of it." The conversation continues, but everyone's clearly preoccupied with the day's events and the gift. The scene shifts to another character sighing, "I guess it's better to leave it as is. I thought I was just being dragged around by Al, but this became a day with many unforgettable memories." Back to our boy, who's reflecting on the day's events. "Even though we didn't expect it, we ended up going home together. And there's AI, who went off on her own like lightning." He muses, "Though she was always the pushy type, she's really a good sister. She dragged me out today, but I think she cares." Another character rolls their eyes, "Really? Even though she only cares about what she wants and doesn't pay attention to her surroundings, she's interesting to talk to. He's just blabbing about AI." The first character, still reflective, says, "Well, Howdall is the kind of guy who wouldn't badmouth anyone. He keeps complimenting her, annoying me." There's a brief pause as the characters look at each other, confused. Our boy starts listing qualities. "You took the initiative to help others in cooking class, practiced bento making with all your might. You're also a good listener." He then adds, all right, enough with the compliments." Shimizu-san asks, "Do you have your umbrella? It's raining." Our boy offers his umbrella and they both head off. Our boy is now alone, thinking, "My parents won't be back until evening, and AI said she had something to take care of. I didn't want him to worry, but what now?" He's reminiscing, "The look he gave me when I wore that dress. That's why I want to treasure it. I've never seen him like that before, even when he was being playful." Suddenly he spots someone. "I had a feeling you hadn't left Howdall. What are you doing here?" he asks. "Hey, wanna go home together?" The other character smiles, holding an umbrella, a lover's umbrella. Our boy's heart races. What is it? I feel like my heart is going to split in two." He's clearly flustered and trying to keep the conversation going. Our boy Shimizu is all about the small stuff, telling his friend to stay dry under his umbrella, but he's not fooling anyone with his kindness act. Meanwhile, Shimizu reveals his reason for being so careful, some old regret from his childhood that still lingers. Back in the day, Shimizu had a buddy named Yulkun who he played with every day at the park. Seems like good times, but they didn't last forever. One day, some bigger kids came to the park and the fun ended. Yulkun never came back, leaving Shimizu with a lingering question and a heavy heart. Shimizu's got this unresolved mystery about Yulkun, wondering if he's okay and why he disappeared. But he's too stubborn to admit he's haunted by the past. Back to the present, Shimizu and his friend share an umbrella, but the tension between them is palpable. They're both deep in their heads. Handal's got a crush, and he's not sure if the feeling is mutual. He's all nerves and confusion, but deep down, he's hoping for something more. Handal runs away from his thoughts, regretting not being more direct earlier. Now he's stuck wondering how he'll face Shimizu tomorrow. Shimizu's sitting next to Handal, her hair dyed black, a small detail that seems to set the mood for Handal, who's lost in his own thoughts. Daiki's got some serious daydreaming going on, reminiscing about Shimizu and their adventures together. He's completely lost in the moment, and it's cute. Daiki snaps out of it, asking about Shimizu and her sister Shunya. Handal's a bit flustered, trying to catch up. Handal is all flustered himself, telling Daiki about Shimizu's older sister, the student council vice president. He's got a crush and it shows. Shimizu's sister Kei isn't around, leaving Handal a bit confused. Daiki's flustered and worried, wondering where she might be. Daiki's on high alert, warning Han Dal about a shady guy trying to make a move on Shimizu. He's protective, but also a bit nervous. Just when things start to feel good, some annoying guy shows up. Han Dal's not in the mood for this, and it's clear he's going to deal with it head-on. Our boy, a guy with newly black hair, casually brushes off a bizarre invitation, pondering his own motivations for the hair change. A fellow classmate, clearly taken aback, refuses outright, calling out the shallow nature of the invitation. Our boy tries to calm the situation, only to realize that the other person is even more naive than he thought. He persists, suggesting they start as friends, but the other person firmly rejects him, refusing to fall for him under any circumstances. Suddenly, a new character arrives, bringing a wave of nostalgia and frustration, having faced a similar situation before. The new arrival is confused, wondering why it always has to be him in these awkward situations. Our boy, in a rare moment of politeness, introduces himself properly, revealing he's looking for someone else but staying to chat anyway. The other person is taken aback by his persistence, but he remains unfazed, suggesting they keep chatting for a bit longer. Our boy, clearly annoyed, refuses to reconsider the invitation, criticizing the other person for caring only about looks and nothing else. The other person challenges him, asking him to elaborate on his criticisms of someone else. The other person shares a touching anecdote about the kind and helpful nature of Shimizu-san, whom they've interacted with recently. Our boy, still holding his ground, reluctantly admits that Shimizu-san does indeed have good qualities beyond her looks. He hesitates, trying to figure out the depth of the other person's relationship with Shimizu-san, looking for a way to change the subject. Our boy, seemingly captivated, describes Shimizu-san's unique charm, highlighting her kindness and innocence despite her clumsiness. Another character, overhearing the conversation, is visibly shocked and irritated by our boy's behavior, declaring he's quitting and going back to class. Our boy is blabbing his heart out, trying to reassure a girl that she's special to him. Meanwhile, she's just trying to figure out why he's babbling like a lunatic. This dude feels like he's heard this line somewhere before. Wait, wasn't it from a middle school friend? Shimizu-san, do you know what he's talking about? Our protagonist is flustered, confessing that she dyed her hair black because she didn't want people to come up to her because of her looks. She's surprised he noticed since she dyed it blonde, but that's not the point. She's more concerned about why he keeps coming to her rescue. The delinquent Shimizu-san is back to her usual self, sitting next to our boy with her hair now black. She's clearly not in the mood for any more drama. Our boy is thinking to himself, "She's someone special to me," but he's not sure if she even hears him. He's still pondering what Shimizu-san meant by suffering the consequences. Someone's trying to calm the situation down, but it's clear that our boy's mind is racing with all sorts of wild ideas. Our protagonist is reassuring everyone that he's just interested and will help out. He's trying to act cool, but there's a mischievous grin on his face. She's annoyed but also a little flattered, wondering if he's really okay with another girl stealing Daiki-kun's attention. She's not about to let him off the hook so easily. Our boy is planning to get Yusuke's help, but Yusuke's third-year childhood friend status leaves him confused about what's actually going on. Stay tuned for more drama. The delinquent Shimizu-san is back, her black hair a stark contrast to her usual image. It's clear that things are about to get real. Our boy is reflecting on what happened when he ran off, coming to class unharmed. He's relieved but also a bit embarrassed about the concern he caused. He's never felt anything like this before. It's different from just thinking girls are cute. He's trying to understand what it means, but he's not sure if he can put it into words. He needs to think about it carefully, face it, and come to his own conclusion. It's not his place to tell him what to do, but he's still trying to figure out if he understands it himself. He's going to take his time to think it through, but he's already excited about the idea of a manager girl in the soccer club. Today's theme: activities to do with the girl you like. He's already good at soccer, but he's daydreaming about what it would be like if Sito-sen became his manager. He's clearly not getting his hopes up, though. Our boy Kei gets an unexpected visit from Daiki, who's got some business to attend to and needs a favor. Daiki invites Kei for a chat, promising it won't take long. Kei, ever the cautious one, agrees but wonders what's up. Kei's friend Shinya looks uneasy, asking if Kei and Daiki are okay with being brought here. Sakata, the student council president, introduces himself, apologizing for the suddenness of the invitation. Sakata explains that the Astronomy Enthusiasts Club needs more members to avoid disbanding. Kei's intrigued but skeptical. Shinya clarifies that this is the Astronomy Enthusiasts Club's room, and Kei's eyes widen in realization. Sakata reveals the club's recruitment plan to keep it alive. Kei's curiosity piques, but he's still unsure. Daiki, passionate about the club's survival, vows to never let it disband. His determination is clear. Sakata mentions his dream of conducting an astronomical viewing on the school's roof. Kei's interest is piqued. Kei asks for a better explanation, confused by Sakata's vague words. He's not convinced yet. Sakata explains that school authorities don't grant permission for roof activities easily. Kei sighs, seeing the challenge. Kei worries about his weekday commitments, but reassures the others he can manage. Everyone heaves a sigh of relief. Kei learns that the club is more about relaxed conversations than astronomy. He's tempted, but still hesitant. Sakata's efforts to convince Kei fall flat. Kei's not buying it, but Shinya seems optimistic about the plan. Shinya reveals intel that roof viewings might lead to new romances. Kei's eyes widen, intrigued by the idea. Our boy Kei is utterly baffled by the sudden addition of new club members. The third member is a second-year girl, leaving him to wonder if Daikun will join too, and if that means the girl will be alone with him. Kei's mind's racing with awkward possibilities. Meanwhile, Kei's friend impatiently urges him to get over his hesitation. "Just get it over with," she says, offering support to help him through this awkward social situation. Kei returns to find Handal-kun joining the club. He's thankful for the new member but can't shake off his thoughts about Shimizu-san. Kei nervously asks Shimizu-san if she's here after he joined. He hopes she'll join the club she truly wants, rather than saying no. He feels a bit down knowing they won't be in the same club. Kei expresses his joy at getting to do club activities with Shimizu-san, but he's still uneasy about the whole situation. Kei introduces the new members to the other girl, who seems pretty shy. The girl then leaves, leaving Kei to wonder if she knows the others. Kei reminisces about the astronomy club, feeling nostalgic but also confused about his feelings back then. Kei mentions Sito, the girl Shinya likes, and introduces the new members. He's trying to keep things light despite the tension. Kei's friend, worried about Kei's awkwardness, suggests he spends time with the new members to ease into the situation. The new members, busy with school council duties, head off. Kei is left wondering if he should head home or stay. Kei feels awkward and unsure, but he decides to stay and seek advice from someone he trusts. Kei asks for advice from a senior, mentioning he's interested in someone but unsure how to approach the topic. Kei's friend helps him talk about his feelings, but Kei is initially hesitant to bring up such personal matters. Kei's friend reveals that the person he's interested in is a library assistant and a classmate, which surprises Kei. Kei is now convinced he knows who his friend is talking about, feeling like a detective with all the clues pointing to his classmate, Matsuka-kun. Our boy starts talking about his past with Shunya, back when they were library assistants together, hinting at more than just friendship. Hondo-kun chimes in, asking if he has a crush on Matsuoka-kun, showing he's struggling with his feelings too. The conversation gets serious as Shunya admits she's unsure about her feelings, offering advice based on what a friend told her. Hondo-kun is willing to continue the discussion, but mentions that Shunya and Sido-san both seem troubled recently. The next day, our boy notices Shunya sleeping when he arrives at the library, worrying about her well-being. Shunya brings up a hairstyle catalog, suggesting they talk about it instead of their usual topics, hinting at her uncertainty. Shunya wants to know which hairstyle would make a guy's heart flutter, but she's unsure how direct she should be. Our boy mentions liking long hair but struggles to pinpoint his exact preferences, flipping through the catalog for inspiration. Shunya tries out a new hairstyle called half lips, and she seems to think it looks all right on her. Our boy suggests a ponytail, but realizes her hair might be too short, recalling how her sister often styles her hair differently. Hondo-kun shares his thoughts on seeing a girl with a half-lips hairstyle, suggesting it takes a lot of effort to pull off. Shunya's expression is a mix of confusion and contemplation as she processes their conversation. Our boy heads out to check on Shimizu-san, who's been coming to school earlier than usual, hinting at something new in her life. At school, he finds Shimizu-san, who's no longer coming in late, and asks if everything is all right, showing genuine concern. Shimizu-san greets our boy with a new hairstyle, which catches his attention, leading to a mix of surprise and curiosity. Our guy just can't help but snap, muttering something under his breath that sounds like it definitely doesn't suit him. Meanwhile, the person talking back to him is gushing, saying it suits him and that he looks really cute, leaving our guy looking like he's about to burst a blood vessel. Looking closely, another character bursts in, clearly flustered and confused, trying to get a word in edgewise but ending up tripping over their own words. Our main character is starting to notice something off about a friend, Yako, but is also questioning if they're just stressed out and can't form coherent thoughts. When confronted about her strange behavior, Yako hesitates, explaining that she's felt a weird atmosphere since her new hairstyle, causing a mix of nervousness and a racing heart. The guy who walked in earlier chimes in, nodding along and saying sometimes he changes his hairstyle too, but getting up early is a hassle, trying to lighten the mood. As the scene winds down, another character saunters in, hair perfectly styled, with a mischievous grin, leaving everyone wondering what their ace up their sleeve is.